Huge thank you to CIBC for making We Get It possible. Hi, welcome to a new episode of We Get It. My name is Karine Chalifour. I'm the program director with Young Adult Cancer Canada. Thank you for joining us for this new episode. This season, we've actually changed things up a little bit, as you will notice. We will bring you every week, every Monday night, 7 p.m., we will bring you sessions that we have recorded and edited from our past events, sessions that are with amazing health professionals and friends across the country, some stories from YACCers as well. And we will talk about issues that are, we know, real things and real issues for the young adults we work with, and for topics like fear of cancer recurrence, body image, movement and exercise, mindfulness, legacy, palliative care. We are going to touch on a bunch of content. So we hope that those sessions are going to provide you with information and tools to help you live life and love life, and hope you get to join us every week and share with anyone who could be interested. So let's start now with this next episode of We Get It. Enjoy.
Hi friends, welcome to YACC Online Survivor Conference 2020. COVID is an asshole. Let's get started. I'm going to talk to you about my cancer story and a lot of the good things that cancer has brought me. In 2015, I was working full-time. I had just come back from Iceland. I was traveling and hiking, exploring. It was great. I was living with friends, finishing my degree part-time, and I had a pretty normal life. I kept a lot of things away from me, which made me very unhappy because I had so much anxiety. I was really competitive with myself, and I felt like I needed to be the best at everything, even though no one is good at everything. And I got in the way of happiness a lot. I got back from Iceland and I went back to work, and I had this backache that wouldn't stop. It wouldn't go away, which I then brushed off, and it kept getting worse and worse and worse. So I went and saw a doctor. He ordered tests. I got in for an emergency MRI, and a week later, I was told I had cancer. I was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. I had a 90% blockage in my colon. My guts were rearranged around 2 tumors the size of a grapefruit and an orange that were wedged up against my spine, pushing on it, hence the backache. And my prognosis was crap, honestly. They said without treatment, I had a handful of months, 3 to 6. And with treatment, 2 years or so. That's the stats, right? I was told I wasn't a candidate for surgery or radiation because they were just trying to keep me alive. And at that point, chemo was the only thing that they could do safely. And when that happened, I had a few thoughts. The first one was, oh my God, what about all this work I've done to get into a master's program? I've worked so hard. What about my master's degree? And then right after, oh, thank God, I don't have to do a master's degree anymore. I had really pushed myself to want to do academia, and I was finding out that it wasn't really for me, but I didn't want to admit it to myself. And then right after that, I thought, if I'm terminal, do I have to go to the dentist still? Can I just skip the shitty parts of life that no one wants to do? Turns out yes. So I didn't really have any excuses to do any of the things that made me unhappy anymore. But the problem was that there was so much in my life at that moment that was blocking me from happiness. My social circle fell apart. My financial situation just imploded. I had no money. I was so stressed out because I was starting chemo, and how do you be happy when all that kind of shit is going on? I found a way. I was feeling like there's got to be something out there to tell me what I need to do. There's got to be something better. There's got to be support. There's got to be other people who are out there doing the same things that I'm doing right now, having cancer. And like, there were. I found YACCer, and YACCer connected me to Meg. Megan Campbell lived 10 minutes away from me. She had the same diagnosis as me. We were the same age, and we were on the same chemo treatments. It was incredible. I finally had somebody to talk to who completely understood what I was going through. And like, not only that, but I had someone to ask and be like, hey, so like, is it weird if my BO smells different? Ooh. You know, like, oh man, it really hurts to wear a shirt today. My roommates tried their best, but they did not understand that feeling. They did not understand neuropathy. They did not understand cold sensitivity, or like how I cried, but it hurt to cry. So I would just go, Meg got it though. We would meet up for brunch. We would kill weekday time, as we called it, while everybody else was at work. And a real friendship outside of cancer grew. And we just had a lot of fun together. I had a hard time opening up to people. I didn't want to make myself vulnerable because I was afraid I'd be rejected. And like, I had already been rejected by so many people because of my diagnosis that like, I was terrified. As I was responding more and more to chemo and doing better, Meg was getting sicker. She convinced me that I needed to sign up for this 10-day whitewater canoeing trip with Tip of the Toes, which is a foundation that takes a group of young adults with cancer experiences and tosses them out in the wild, and you do crazy shit and you feel better about your life and you connect with young adults. Like she said, like, you have to go. You have to go for the both of us. You have to. So I was like, okay, I'll go. And like, I met the best people. I canoed on a beautiful river. I even met Jody Hogan, who I met in Quebec at this canoe trip. And we had been living like 6 blocks away from each other the entire time. Like, it was just what my soul needed. And Meg knew that. She knew that that's what I needed. And I felt reconnected with nature. I felt connected to the old version of me that, you know, took the risk to go to Iceland and climb a mountain and all that kind of stuff. And I was reminded that I was capable of so many things. But then when I came home, I found out that Meg had died while I was away. And she was my first friend to die from cancer. Thankfully, she had also kicked my ass into convincing me to access counseling because she had gotten so much out of it. My therapist really helped me navigate the murky waters of survivor's guilt, grief, preemptive grief especially, which is something that I think a lot of us face, knowing that, you know, cancer means that not everybody's going to make it. And I just sort of realized that as hard as it was to be involved in a community where, you know, everybody had cancer, I felt so privileged to call them my friends. And I realized that everybody was worth the heartache of loss. And cancer just taught me how to love people anyway, like regardless. I met Mark on Tinder. He asked me on a date. We'd been talking a little bit, and I just replied like, I have cancer. And he went, oh, wow, that's really awful. Like, is it curable? And I went, I have terminal cancer. And he was just like, wow, that's really shitty. But I still want to go on a date. I was like, okay, I guess. And from that moment on, Mark has been a constant in my life. We live together in our little apartment. We have a cat, that's Lily. I just love her so much. Mark had said on our very first date that he saw me beyond cancer. And I felt that was so powerful because at that time, I didn't see myself beyond cancer. He took care of me during chemo as much as I would let him. He was there through all the breakdowns, all the anxiety. YACCer really helped me with the extra stress that came with having a relationship during cancer. We started dating 4 months into my treatment, okay? So like I was new to cancer and new to terminal cancer especially. So I had a lot of feelings like I was trapping this poor dude into a life of misery. Like, what good am I if I have an expiry date across my forehead, basically? Is this poorly written rom-com plot? Like, am I gonna live and then he dies tragically? Oh no. But like, we just have a normal relationship, you know? Like, our biggest fight has been about him using my lactose-free milk. He helped me realize that like, cancer is a really big part of my life and his life too, but it's a small part of me. I have so much more to offer. I'm not just that girl with terminal cancer. I'm me. I'm all of the weird shit that makes up me. I had this chemo break for the canoe trip. And that was initially supposed to be 1 month long, and it turned into 18 months off treatment. I was stable, so my oncologist and I agreed, like, why treat something that isn't growing, that isn't, you know, being a problem? Just live your life. So I did. And about 9 months into that period of stability, he was like, yeah, so why don't we just take it out? So I had my primary tumor in my colon removed. It was pretty simple. You know, it was still scary, but it went well. I have no complaints. And like, it spares me from more colonoscopies, which like, nobody enjoys those. It's not great. It's a bad time. And I healed up really quickly, and my wonderful friend Marley Cameron decided one day that life was too short and she was going to come visit me for a week. Everybody around me was just like, you've never met her before, so she's just going to stay with you for like a week? What if you don't get along? And I was like, but we will. And we were best friends. We knew we were best friends. We'd clicked on so many different levels, just talking to each other all the time online for like 2 years, that we couldn't be anything less than best friends. It's just another reason that I have to be thankful to cancer for, because cancer brought me to YACCer, and YACCer brought me to people like Marley. We visited each other in our homes twice now, and we got to see each other at Survivor Conference last year. This year we were supposed to see each other again at Survivor Conference, but shit happens, man. After she'd visited, I was just sort of like, man, like, I want to do more. I wanted to go back to work, but I wasn't quite there yet. And I decided that I would just sort of shift focus on helping to build the young adult cancer community more. And it just happened naturally because things started popping up that I just needed to say yes to doing. My friend Erin, Megan, myself had been showing up to Wellspring before it was officially opened here in Edmonton. And we just said, like, hey, we want to make a young adult support group. It happened. We just kept showing up, and more people started coming. And we have over 40 people on our roster now. We've been running for 3 years, and like, I get to be a part of that. It's amazing. I love it. We have people who find Wellspring before they find YACCer, and I can say like, hey, go to YACCer, go see YACCer. It's worth it. And it just brings me so much joy. Not to mention, like, I have so many new friends, and it's amazing, and I love them all, and I miss them so much. Damn it. The next thing that happened was that the young adult patient navigator at our cancer center asked if I would help her out and help figure out, in short, how the medical world was failing young adults with cancer. And she invited myself and a few other young adults with cancer experiences to join her on a steering committee to develop a provincial framework to support young adults with cancer. they were trying to figure out from all the other different provinces and different structures, like what worked, what didn't work, what young adults really needed, what they could do, what was reasonable. And now, like, I'm so happy to say that we have a nice poster board in the main hallway at our cancer center dedicated to young adult things. We have representation. We have been able to review materials that are given to everybody to make sure that young adults are represented in those materials. All of the supports that we've found are added to those materials. So when someone gets handed, you know, that stack of pamphlets, there's actual things that are important for young adults in there, and they are clearly marked. And it's awesome. We made a huge change happen, and it's still ongoing. We're still working with them, and who knows what's on the horizon. I also joined the Patient Experience Committee at our cancer hospital as a young adult representative, because why not? There's so many of us that are diagnosed every single day that there should be representatives on boards like this. So if you're interested in advocacy, you know, just offer your time. And moving on from, you know, all the things that I just said yes to, I grew a new tumor. So now we're in January 2019, and I had a new growth around my mets. So this was actually the very first time that I had bad news since my diagnosis in 2015. Like I had cancer all over again, because I'd done so much and I'd gotten so far and I'd healed so much. And then I had a new tumor and I had to do something about it. But the oncologist was just sort of like, you know, we said that chemo was the only option before, and then you had surgery. So like, why not throw radiation on the table too? And like, that's what we did. I had radiation all along my spine. And yeah, we just fried the lymph node chain that was giving me grief. It worked. I had another 9 months of stability. And I was like, man, okay, so like, what else can I do? And I became a co-leader for Local Life. Because why not add more things to your life? Right? It's like, I could be a leader, so why not? And I applied and accepted me, and like, it's been amazing. I love Local Life. I love getting to plan fun things for people, and I can't wait until COVID is over so that we can see each other in person again. All the good things that have happened because of cancer are things that we need to recognize more often, I think. Cancer is an asshole so much of the time, right? Like, I'm not saying that I don't have really bad days or bad thoughts about like how much easier my life would be without cancer. But like, cancer gave me the option to start over. I'm happy now. I don't get in the way of myself. I got really good at taking chances, things that I wouldn't have done before. It really pushed me out of my comfort zone and gave me a cheerleading squad that like claps every time I do something out of my comfort zone. It feels amazing to be loved for all of what's me, because if you can love terminal cancer, you can love, you know, my inability to clear time off of a microwave, and all my other shortfallings. You know, if you can love an ass tumor, there's a lot of vices in my personality that you can also love. Cancer gave me this really amazing community and this new home and all these friends that I wouldn't trade for anything. And even though cancer sucks, like, it has led me to this moment, to talking to you. So I hope you guys enjoyed hearing a bit about my story. I hope you have a wonderful conference. Yeah, thanks for having me, YACC. Miss you guys.